Hi. Mr. Samuel, over to you to do the moderation. I don't know. Hello, Mr. Samuel.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
today we
Mohammed
have Mr. Mohammed Ali, who is a machine learning engineer, who is also the co-founder and machine learning engineer at the Dainanahan. I hope I pronounced it well. He will be sharing with us a wonderful presentation on Shiny. So without much ado, I will leave it to Mr. Mohammed Ali to take us through today's presentation.
Oh, thank you so much. Very glad to be with you today and with this great community. And just I wanted to note that Dananahan has been renamed to Interstellar. So it is an Interstellar right now. It's okay. Please let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes, you can see your screen.
Okay, great. Okay, as you stated, my presentation today about two great packages actually for Shiny application. One called CanvasXpress, and the other one is Periscope, both for data analytics using Shiny. So let us dig into them. First, about CanvasXpress. CanvasXpress is a framework for performing data analytics and including data wrangling, statistical analysis on the plot itself. You don't need to do a lot of coding. Actually, you can perform what you need on the plot, and it is a standalone JavaScript library like data table and D3 and other great JavaScript libraries. And it is ported into HTML widget like these great libraries as well. It supports a lot of plots. Main type of plots, actually there are many types of minor plots. There are more than 52 plots, and it supports multiple frameworks beside R, like Python, Node, Angular, React, and a lot of other frameworks. The R and Python packages are maintained by Aggregate Genius company. It is a great data analytics company in Canada. It provides dynamic and reactive charts. You can embed these charts in any type of applications, RMD, HTML, and of course, Shiny applications. It's extensive. You can add your own coding and tools and add-ons on these charts using Shiny JavaScripts and other tools like we will see in our demo. And also you can your reproducible research. After you make your research, you can pass that research into your colleagues and your team, whether they are using R or Python, as we said. And the package already on CRAN, and it is highly active, developed and maintained. So let me introduce you to the tool. This is the site for the plot, and as you can see, there are a lot of types for the plots, and you can see a great documentation for the plots here, how you can use it in R. I'll dig into the technicality later, but I want just to introduce you to the big picture of the plot. You hear a simple plot here. It contains, like Plotly, if you know it, a toolbar, but here the toolbar is a little different because you can do a lot of things using this toolbar. First thing, you can maximize and minimize your plot, so you can fit it to your own window and minimize it again to fit in your report. And you can move it dynamically without needing to know HTML tables and arrangement to plot place your plot in your page, so you can move it as you like dynamically, and you can view your data and not only view it, but you can also save it in a different formats to move your data from place to place. You can also filter your data and do a lot of things with this data. So the plot contains your data. It is a place for your data, so you can play with it as you like. And this button to reproduce the actions you already did. Like, let me try here to customize something here. I'll say I wanted to make this a great lookup for the properties for the plot. As you can see, we have a lot of properties here we can change. But let me introduce something called subtitle. I wanted to add hello demo and apply. As you can see here, I just added a subtitle without needing to rebuild my code or change any thing. And if I wanted to remember what I did through my investigation, I just click this button. So it remembers that I maximize it and I showed table and I updated, added the subtitle. And if I want to reproduce this code anywhere else, I can just say here, show me your R code to reproduce it. And I take this R code in any arc also, and it will show me the same exact chart. Okay, so this the main toolbar for the plots, just for introduction. And there are a lot of options, other options to reproduce your code, as I mentioned. You can show reproduce the chart in Python and or in JSON, and they are all supported from place. Not only that, I can also share my own PNG from here and download the PNG. And if I open any CanvasXpress container in any place, let's see it like here, and I drop the picture, and here we are, it loading my chart, not only at its initial state, but also with the modification I did to the chart. So I don't need even to share my code. I just download my picture, my plot, after I did my rendering or my modification on it, and I pass it to my colleague without the need to do any further coding or share any R script. Okay, do you have any question before I proceed? Hello, are you still with me?
Please, you can continue.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, good. Thank you. Also, we have a lot of other features, like I can come here. Okay, I see this a lot of points, interesting points, and I see that there is a little point here interested to my research. So it is not a significant point. So I say, come here, click in it. I to get more information about it, what information this point contains, and I wanted to add my remark. So I can say edit and say this an interesting it's an or an important point, and I want to color this text with red so I can remember it later and update any information I want, and I click add. So here we are. I just labeled my point. So when I pass this information to my colleague, he can take care, extra care for this point. And can I do more operation on here? Like you can segregate this data by the properties of its data. Like here, I segregated the chart with the group. So each group in its own subplot without needing to update my code again. And even my point here is segregated with me and it's still there. I can segregate it with another property with no issue at all. Not only that, but I can also, for each point, it has its own unique properties. So I can color by group or by head, or I said I'll color by group and shape by head. So there is a lot to do, like size by, pattern, even connect and rigid by. Not only that, you can change the color the type of the chart itself. So you can create a histogram from your data and do some operation on this histogram as well. I can also segregate again on that histogram, or I can update the histogram to create some other properties on it. I'll change the histogram to dodget, for example. And if get enough from that, I can say, please remove this histogram. And I return to my first state. Other things I can do, I can create CDF plots or KQ plots, and I can have to choose the distribution I need as well. And I can return from that easily. And all these steps are recorded, as I said, in my plot steps history for the plot. You can also create other things. All of this from single plot, and you don't need to touch your code. And as you can see also here, you can do add this tooltip, but this tooltip comes from the data itself, but you can update it. You can add your own information here if you like, but that one would require you a little extra coding, not so many. And I just return it back. I can also do some correlation for the data to show my information and also return back. You just hit here, hard reset, and you have your initial plot again. Also, here I can, besides that, I can select some points. I have this great tool called lasso tools to select certain points, and in my Shiny, these selected points return it to me to do some operation on them. And when I come to Shiny example, I'll show you how we operate on these tools and how we get them using code. So you can interact with your chart directly and normally without extra code for click to action or for broadcasting. Okay, let me show. Run. Can you see my RStudio?
No.
Hello? Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Here, if you see, when I click a point, I select a point, it updates the following chart without any lag or anything. And if I change the points, change the data directly, and I have information on the tooltip updated. And if selected the lasso tools and to select multiple points at the same time, that chart converted from box plot to heat map. It understood that I selected more than one point, and it gives me these points with no issue. The data transferred and captured by the other plot. And if we watch the code, let me show you the code for these two charts. Here, we just call CanvasXpress, and in the UI, let me show you the UI first. For the UI, you have two CanvasXpress output. Just let me. In the UI, you have two CanvasXpress output for each plot. One for profile and one for gene plot. Gene plot is the one on the right and profile one on the left. And in server, I said render CanvasXpress. It is like render table or render TT or render plot. I wrap that in a custom plot function here just for UI. Yeah, it's here. And this is what is rendered here. This the properties. It's just a normal function. And I call here the data for the function. This all stored here. All the data that's stored here. And for var annotation, any annotation I wanted to color or customize the data properties, columns, or features by using it. And decorations, any decorations I wanted to do extra annotations or info for the point itself. And for size by the movement that I did before on the chart, any size bar, any size bar, any size by or movement I do for the data properties here, if I change that, it won't be persistent as it is input. I can do reset. If I do reset, it return it to what was in the code. To size by a group like it was initially. And I have something important called event. That's what I said. We need to update a little code for the tooltip. And it is just a small JavaScript code to handle CanvasXpress events. And it has multiple events all listed and documented here in API section for your reference. You have multiple events actually. Here we are handling the event for select to update the right chart. The update here just to catch the data. Also, this chart can be updated also using Shiny controls to add multiple plots at the same time. And it's active, as you can see. And this is how CanvasXpress broadcasting and selection events are working. Do you have any question before I proceed? Okay. Okay, so we have seen the table view and the CanvasXpress properties. By CanvasXpress properties, here I mean the properties we can see here. But these properties also can be accessible by the menu, as we saw. And then not only I can update the data as we saw, but I also can update or customize the UI for the plot. Like I can change title. Let me go for a bigger chart here. Let me customize for the plot itself. Let me change the background. I can update the background as I like, or change the color, theme, the layout as much as I can. We have multiple themes here for the plot. Create multiple themes, and I can also update the title. Can change its color or font, or even text. And I can update the legend, access, I can hide the access or show them as I like. I can transform them, perform transformation as I please. If I don't like that all, I can reset. Even the legends, I can update them, update their color, or show and hide border inside them, or I even tell them to go out of the plot, or make them change the layout, their layout. As I want. Yes, also we have data filter here. I can filter the information shown in the plot, even for variables or samples. Variables are the data features, samples are the data rows. For the variables here, I can show only common, or I add unique, only to perform analysis on that. And for samples, I wanted to show certain type or remove them as I please also. And if I don't like all of that, I can still, as I said, return to the first state. Easily. Okay. Okay, if I like it, this kind of plots, and I already have a lot of plots in my project, they all made in ggplot. Do I need to go for all of them one by one and to convert them to CanvasXpress? The answer is no. You don't need that actually, because currently we have a function under testing, and it will be released soon this year to convert the current ggplot to CanvasXpress plots. Okay, I'll reshare my screen so you can see my RStudio. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. Bar, normal one, and I converted using our feature called CXplot that take ggplot and return CanvasXpress. So this is the ggplot, and this is the equivalent for it. And as you can see, the data is maintained. And I added here CanvasXpress features like the tooltips. We have also all the properties we need to add for later to enjoy the feature. For CanvasXpress, the data is there with me, so I can do everything I please with just from this expression without the need to do anything, and it is a little easy than deconstructing the plot from the start. We have this function applied for many features for almost all ggplot plots type. Here we have other one for Canvas for box plot. This is the ggplot. and this is the code for it, and this is the equivalent with everything, with all features in CanvasXpress. I even also have added the tools for showing the information quantiles without extra need for any tooltip or features to work with me. And I can immediately apply CanvasXpress properties without any issue. Directly. So that conclude the CanvasXpress part only, but just I wanted to leave with you its location. It is already available in Crane, and it is open source. You can download it, and you are welcome to submit any feature request on our repository. And as I said, it's maintained by Aggregate Genius, and it is actively developed. You can see it has always new features and new updates every few weeks, even sometimes. Okay, and that concludes the first part for CanvasXpress. Okay, before proceeding to Periscope, do you have any questions?
So, Mohammed.
Yes.
So I saw on the CanvasXpress page that you have to get license. I just wanted to know that if you have to buy any license for the website, and that it's only the package that is free and open source.
Yeah, it is the license mainly for support, but you can use it in your applications as a developer, and or you can get license for education or for open source projects with agreement with the maintainer. But you can use it at your own risk, as the license said. No issue with that. But mainly license for supporting you with and supporting any bugs for you. But and it is type of supporting, but it is on open source. You can access its code in GitHub, and you can download it and you can work with it directly, as I just did. Did I answer your question?
Yes, please.
Okay. Any other question?
Leave my phone.
Okay.
Go ahead, take your phone.
Okay, should I start part 2? Hello?
Please, you can go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Part 2 is about Periscope, and it is a framework that helps you to build a scalable and modernized Shiny apps, and in particular Shiny dashboards. It includes variety of tools to help Shiny developer to quickly and rapidly build a prototype and application later. Regardless their experience, but it helps them to organize their thoughts, their ideas, and their work. And it also include not only tools for Shiny or R, but also for JavaScript and CSS for your own benefit. Let me show you an example it first before digging into how it's work. I'll reshare my screen. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. This is an example for Periscope. First, let me show you. This is the site for Periscope. You can access it. Not only you can access Periscope applications, but you can also apply offer to deploy your own application on Periscope if you find it interesting enough to be showed to the world. It is a free service for offered by them. And Periscope also is maintained and developed by Aggregate Genius. And it was mainly developed to host bioinformatics and genetic applications. And as we know, this kind of applications need to support a huge amount of data and to be highly responsive. And Periscope approved it can be that kind of applications. So they offered the package for public, not only for their customer, which is great. And it currently on version 1 and has a lot of great features actually. This a look and feel for it first application. We can see here we have multiple bars. We have left sidebar to host our setup or anything you need, you like as a developer to add, and you have advanced tab for any metadata setup for your own application to add, and you have a notification bar that can be added on any place like header, and you have title that can hold information about your application and or even a quick help to demonstrate to your application user what is this application do and how it can be used, or even the data for your application, how can be from where it can be obtained. You can have multiple boxes in your application. You can have any type of Shiny tools and or layouts inside your application in boxes, and you can have any type of of plots, not only CanvasXpress as we can see, but you can have any type of plots, any feature to support your work. Let me show you this. I'm plotting a lot of data right now. here kind of data. So I can have multiple data and it's memorizable. I can switch between them and I can develop that in no time. And it's just a prototype, as you can see. And this is just an example for Periscope. And to create application like that, it is pretty easy and simple. Let me show you. I just say Periscope, create new application. And in my constructor, I just provide the name. Let me open the help page too, so you can all see clearly. I just provide the name for my application and the location for it. And if I need sample app, and I'll show you the sample app for now to show all its feature. And a reset button. And that reset button I'll also show you its functionality. And if I want right and side bar, and if I have a custom themes to apply to my application. And when I execute this command, I get this application without sample app. This is a full application without any sample data or anything, just as empty application. I get it with the regular tabs, basic and advanced configuration, and the right part. This reset button, it resets my it reload my application from the server again to reload it or reset it to its initial state, and it can be called dynamically based on your logic inside the application. And inside the reduced code is as follow. Here we have the regular files for Shiny application, global, server, and UI. And we don't touch these files. They are generated and ready to be used for me, but all my work as a Shiny developer will be inside the program folder. I have 3 UI parts based on my configuration, mainly at least the UI body. This contains all the elements I need to place in this area, in the body itself. So I can add here any piece of UI I want. And the other 2 files, one for any controls I need to do here, add here, and the sidebar for any controls I need to add here. And it have 2 functions. You don't need to call them, by the way. You can just use one of them if you need. One for static and one for advanced. And the static is for the basic, and the basic tab is for your always doing settings for your charts or your logic. And the advanced is mainly for your application setting like session timeout, metadata location, your database location, things that are done once by the user. And for the server, you have server global to define your server global logic, and one for your server local And we have data folder to store your either your data or functionalities that will get your data. And here in functions folder, we add any code, any other code we wanted to our logic for plotting, for performing application logic to that will be called inside the server, or even we add Shiny modules here and call them in the server folder. That can be seen clearly in Shiny demo 2. Let me show you. And Shiny demo 2, I created using the same command I used here for creating the sample application, for creating Periscope application, except that I told it to create a sample application for me. So let us see this sample application. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. Here, let me show the properties for and modules and tools provided by Periscope. Here we can provide tooltips for your application, like this one, or you can create different alerts, like this one for and one for body and one for sidebar advanced. Here it is, and one for your right sidebar. And this is the reset application that should reload my application to its initial state. So all these alerts should be done, as we can see. And also you have application styling. This application styling that controls the styles for this application. And let me show it. It is stored all styles are stored here in www. So you can add here your custom CSS file, your images, your custom JavaScript files to be called inside the program. And we have this Periscope style file, a very special styling file, just a YAML file with simple properties, with each property have its own definition. You can either modify here directly or in the sample app, and for the sample app only, you can modify it using this box. Other than that, you can modify it in here directly. So, okay, what these properties do, you can change the colors for primary bar, or even update the width for the sidebar. Most of them updated. Change the color for the sidebar itself. For the background, or even for the box. And if I don't like it, as I do right now, I just click Reset Application. It won't be refreshed. Okay. Okay, it's a glitch for me. Persistent for some reason. Okay. And we have also the downloadable table. The downloadable table is another module, is another Shiny module provided by Periscope. So you can use it to display your own data. and it is a wrapper around data table HTML widget, but with other functionality like downloading your data in multiple formats, for instance CSV or TSF. And you can also customize your table as you please. You can filter as you like. You can add blocks with any type of plots, like CanvasXpress or ggplot or lattice, and you can also use our Periscope module that called downloadable plot. So you can download this plot, the plot itself, or download plot data the same here. You can download so you can I don't need this button, of course, for CanvasXpress. As we stated, we can download it directly from this download button. And also we have logging module that logs all the actions in your application, and it can be displayed here. That you did that, you click that, you open that, and all logs are stored in your inside your application. Inside log folder with time. And of course, if you have user authentication installed in the application, also it will mention the user. For the application itself, I stated all functionalities inside the program, and the data folder here contains the data that we used in the plot and in the data table. And the functions have our functionalities that helped us to plot or display the data. Any helper function I need is added here. And I just use it inside my server local. And I want just to stress on Periscope functionalities like download file that we use to download data from the table. These functionalities here, it taking the log, so I can log what I am downloading or what user is downloading, and it take list of functions. These reactive functions return the data that will be downloaded in their format. I just mentioned that I need to do to download data in CSV format or TSV format or Excel format or any format that can be installed in my application. And this is a downloadable table. I just add it also. the data itself in reactive function. And other functionalities is customization for my table. And it is the same properties used in DT functionality beside the downloading data. And this function also return the selected data. So I can select this column and return them as selected rows, and return them to do extra work on them or pass them to a plotting functionality, and they return it from this function. And the downloadable plot that downloaded that was for downloading and displaying ggplot and lattice format. We have them here. And also the code for sidebar. We have the basic sidebar almost with nothing except some information that is displayed here. And for the advanced, I added the reset button. Just enable it. As I said, I'll use the reset button. And for the right sidebar, there are also other functionalities. Let me minimize that. So I can control what is in my screen using right sidebar. And this is just tabs, a placeholder for tabs. And it's a code inside right sidebar. So you can add anything I want in tab 1 and create multiple tabs, and just call a function called add UI sidebar and give it the list of the 3 tabs. And that's mainly it. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, and that's mainly it. That concludes my presentation. So, any question?
Let's see. So, Mohammed.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes. So, how do you, for somebody in finance of working with financial data, how would this be applicable to the person in getting the data in and then getting some plots out of them for their use?
Yes, financial data is like any other data can be used normally with CanvasXpress. You are asking about CanvasXpress, right?
Yes.
Yes, you can plot them in CanvasXpress. You have a lot of types of plots you can use. You have for financial. There is no dedicated financial charts like time series financial or thing like that here, unfortunately, but you can still use it as you use ggplot for you can use still plotting time series. I think there are some examples here for time series. Let me see. You can still plot time series and plot other series, other types of financial, like as a graph or dashboard. There is also the dashboard, and I forgot about that. To group multiple data, plus a bar chart together with table showing your highly financed year and bar charts and your heat map and everything. You can grab them together. You can even use a map inside your dashboard to show the whole places for your customer while you are showing your data. You can do that. But I'll recommend that if you want a very advanced financial plotting, it is still not there, but there are a lot of statistical info you can use here in CanvasXpress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Please, if you have any more questions, you can ask now.
Sorry, the question for me?
No, I was telling the floor to ask any question they have now.
Yeah, sure. But
Hello.
hello.
Please, I want to find out all these diagrams. You need to code it, or it is already there.
It's already there. You just need to configure it here. Let me show you.
Okay.
Here, you just say your graph type here. Either it map, a scatter plot, bar plot, or any type plots from all of these plots.
Okay.
And you give it your data and your properties, and it is there. You can browse. I advise you to browse this site. I can share it with you and to go through the examples. There are a lot of R examples here you can follow, but it is there. You just have to enjoy it. Yeah, no need for anything else.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And it also may share with you the Periscope and company maintainer also, Aggregate Genius. Okay. Okay. So next question.
Hello, Mohammed.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes. So I see with the plot, we have dashboard, density, donuts, and I see genome.
Yes.
Can you
Yes.
explore that for us now to see?
Yeah, sure. As I stated, most of these tools were mainly developed for bioinformatics and genes application. So
Okay.
you will find a lot of these actually there. So for genome chart, there are genome and there are other type for genes. Yeah, TCGA. If you know DNA nucleotides, yeah. So let me see. So as you see, this is a genome chart in its very simple way, but it can be it can be a component of multiple chart to view multiple genome properties. Here, let me show more advanced example. Like here, and it is interactive. You a little interactivity is not great because it is still a new chart, but you still can play with it and add your multiple charts between it. And there is even more advanced one. it contains of multiple charts together that discussing components of chromosome and genes all together. And if you try to see in the code here, you will see that it mainly takes a JSON file for configuration. If I open this JSON file, you will see that it contains different data for different data data items for different chart types. Here we have, if I search it for type only, I have bar and subtype called DNA, and types called sequence, and type heat map, and I have line, I have scatter plot. I have a lot of components in a single plot, and I can add more and more actually here. So each part of this data of this chart is constructed alone with the whole genome or chromosome data, and it can be interactive. I can submit data to this chart, complex chart, but I need to shape it first to fit with this kind of data. There are other types. I forgot also, but like images. You can use images. Let me open scatter. Here. You can use tissue images to plot your data over these images in a scatter plot. And all the configuration and properties you saw in CanvasXpress, including color by, size by, etc., can be applied over for the points over this image, except for segregation. Actually, you can segregate an image. Okay. Here, as you can see, this tissue image, and I placed my info on it, given an object for there is a package for bioinformatics called Theoret that generates some kind of data for this image, and I place this data over, prepare them, and add them as a scatter plotted data. And as you can see, it's colored by a signal value, and I can change color, but I won't dare to do that right now because it's a lot of data actually. But as you can see, you can get any kind of images generated by that source object and add them. And for TCGA, it generating this blocks plots for this kind of pattern for the data. And by the way, you can hide one or two to focus only on one of them, and you can. This is genes, by the way. The header or the box is titled are gene. You can group them or segregate them as you please to play like you want. Okay, and you asked also about dashboard, I think. For dashboard, it's talking about combining multiple plots together. You combine multiple plots based on your configuration, on your needs. It can be generated automatically, by the way. based on metadata or something. So I just after render, I said I wanted to create. I wanted to 2x2 chart to create heat map and create box about or by charts, etc. I can play with them here. I can update the dashboard online as everything in CanvasXpress and add them again. I can even change the topology, or I can remove them to reduce the first original chart at all. So I can come here and say, please work on this histogram instead, or remove histogram and play with anything else, or I come to file and will say reset to first state. So that's it. And we have multiple examples here. You can add maps, you can add any type of chart in your dashboard. No question. But I don't recommend it to add actually genome charts to it, because sometimes it can be long, as we saw here. Okay. Did I manage to answer your question?
Well, I think there are no more questions now.
Okay, no problem. Okay.
This has been an extensive training, sharing with us the CanvasXpress and then the Periscope packages.
Mm-hmm.
We want to say a very big thank you to you.
You are really welcome.
Such a presentation. And we believe going forward, we'll make good use of these charts, this site. I mean, this is the very first time I'm being introduced to this. And I really appreciate it, especially coming from a health background.
Okay.
This is very great for us. That is why I was asking you more questions on the genomics and the other data, because of the work I would be doing very soon. So
Sure.
we are very much grateful. We are so much grateful. Myself and the entire our user group in Ghana, we say a very big thank you to you. And we know that this wouldn't be the last time for you having a presentation or a talk with us. This will be the beginning of a great talk between Ghana and Egypt.
Yeah, it is my honor, actually. And I'm glad to be with you at any time. And you have my contact info. You can contact me with any question you need, and you can submit any feature you want for these packages. And I'm pretty sure it will be authorized by the maintainers of these packages. And I am one of them, by the way.
Okay.
And it is our pleasure, actually, to make any help to you.
Okay. So can we have, is it possible to get the slides for today's presentation? Maybe a link to it for the house.
Okay, I'll just upload it to GitHub and I'll send you the link. Okay.
Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Mohammed.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for coming today. Kevin, I don't know if you have something to say before we wrap up.
No, I'm just going to wave goodbye. That's all.
All right. So thank everyone. We have our last presentation tomorrow at 6 p.m. And I believe we've had a wonderful week, and we are going to end strong tomorrow. So hope to see each and everyone here tomorrow for the last presentation. Thank you so much, and bye-bye to everyone.
Bye-bye. Have a nice night. Bye-bye.
Bye.